determine the soil textures, we wanted to determine it for a number of different depths. So first thing we got to do is dig a hole. We found that these smaller shovels are the quickest to dig with, but you can use any shovel. So I've dug this hole down about the length of my arm, which is a little over 2 feet or 70 centimeters long. And we're going to start taking those soil depths. We're going to start with that top ½ inch or 1 centimeter. And the reason that we do that is because that top 1 inch is what determines whether or not you're going to have wind erosion, water erosion. It's what limits seedling emergence. And even in a cropped field that's tilled, you'll often find that the texture in that top centimeter or ½ inch is different because of crusting. And in fact, we've got a little bit of crusting right here, as you can see. So we take a sample from that top ½ inch, we crumple it up, and what I normally do is I lay it out on a tarp, maybe an old shower curtain, an old sheet, something like that, where I've labeled each of the depths so I can keep track of them. Get all my depths, and then I can start determining my textures. So I've got my top 1 centimeter here, or ½ inch. I go down to 1 to 10 centimeters, or ½ inch to 4 inches, and I can use a shovel or I can use a knife. What I want to do at each depth is I want to pull out a uniform amount of soil from each depth within that depth. And I can do that using a shovel if I want, or sometimes a trowel works pretty well. There we go. That's that top segment. But you want to get it broken up, mixed together real well. Then I can go down to my next depth, which is my 4 to 8 inches depth, or the 10 to 20 centimeter. And again, pull that out. So I got my soils out here, the different depths labeled. First one's 0 to ½ inch, 0 to 1 centimeter. On down the line. In this case, I only went down to 28 inches, 70 centimeters. Could go even deeper. And I'm going to start with texture. I go to the texture screen, and you'll notice that at the top of the screen it says texture, and you can tap on that and you can select your texture. Most folks, though, it's real helpful to go through the key, so we tap Guide Me. Starts asking questions. Does the soil form a ball? So I'm going to go ahead and run through this sequence now with this first soil. So I get a palm full of soil, and then I need to get some water on that soil. And actually the easiest way to do that is to take a water bottle, poke a hole in the top, and that's going to give you a little squirter. And that makes it easy to get just enough on, because you don't want it glistening. You just want that soil so that it's wet. And sometimes it'll get too wet. You got to add a little bit more. And now what you want to do is just work that up until you get it to the point where you've got even moisture, and at least as importantly, that soil is all mixed together. So sometimes you'll end up with some larger pieces of soil in there, some larger aggregates. You got to break those down, because what you're trying to determine is how much sand, silt, and clay is in there. And if you've got clods of soil, you can't tell what's inside them. So those got to get all mixed up. So the first question is, does it form a ball? Well, there's no question that forms a ball, no problem at all. If it doesn't form a ball, it's like if you've ever been to a beach, real coarse sand, that's not going to form a ball. The second question is, does it form a ribbon? So I take that ball and I'm literally going to cup it in my hand like this, and I'm going to push up. So I've got this index finger is crooked like that, and I'm just going to push up and see if I can form a ribbon. And sure enough, I form a ribbon. Now, the next question is, how long is that ribbon? Is it less than an inch, 1 to 2 inches, or more than 2 inches? Okay? And this is just over an inch. So that's going to be in the 1 to 2 inch range. I go ahead and I select 1 to 2 inches. And the next question is about the grittiness, smoothness, stickiness of it. Okay? And this is one smooth soil. It's really, if I put some in the palm of my hand and I just kind of press it around, there's not much grit in there at all. That's pretty smooth. Okay? And so, based on the answers to that questions then, the app is going to determine the texture. We also want to, at the same time, determine how much gravel or rock is in that. So for that, you're going to want to look here, but probably also look at your hole in case there's some larger rocks. And we're going to record the percent by volume. So if you took a liter or a quart of soil and you took all the rocks out of it, how much volume would be left? All right? And there's some pictures there to help you out. 0 to 1% is the lowest, and so on up the line. So make sure you record both the gravel content, and gravel is anything that's basically 2 millimeters or about 1/10 of an inch in diameter or larger.